back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Or go to my website at macjacksonjr.com. Remember, give us a thumbs up if you like our show. I'm here with our episode or segment today with Sonia Pedowick.
Hi, again.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Goes by fast, doesn't it?
I know. We need more time.
Yes. We were talking about the cybersecurity news, and then we're going to our next story, and that's about the hacking situation regarding Kaspersky.
Yeah.
Kaspersky is a antivirus software. You know, on this show we preach a lot about make sure you have antivirus software and which one should you have. Should it be McAfee? Should it be Norton? Should it be somebody else's software program out there? Well, Kaspersky has been around for years, and just recently Kaspersky is being audited by our military and the Justice Department, and they're recommending that our military remove all traces of Kaspersky software because it's been known now that Kaspersky had malware attached to the software that was actually sending out information from the U.S. to nefarious organizations. Now, I'm not going to say they were just Russian, because now there's also talk that there were other foreign entities there involved as well, and companies as well, nefarious companies. When Kaspersky's were interviewed about this and asked about it, they said they had no contact with this, and it was just rumor and so-called
no connection.
Fake news.
Yeah.
But it's been reported by a couple of the media entities that the owner of Kaspersky was trained by the KGB of Russia. So that's going to be really interesting too. So you have software you think is going to protect you from thieves, and it's actually sitting there monitoring your PII and sending it to whoever it's been contracted to do. Which
and
is
our military was using Kaspersky.
Yes, our military has it. You'd think that would be... It would be crazy anyways. Why would you use the enemy's software? Even if it's a country from the... It just doesn't make sense on that contractual agreement, but I'm sure it had to do with money.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to cost a lot to rip it out.
Yeah.
And put something new in.
Yeah, put something new in, because then you have to find out what they had installed there, if they had anything installed in these systems. They're sitting there like sleeper cells, right? In our industry, sleeper cell is software virus that sits there on the drive and doesn't do anything. Looks like a regular files until it's called upon by the server from anywhere in the universe to tell it to activate, and then it does what it needs to do. It's nefarious programs and activities.
That's very interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's a lot to digest, like thinking about how you open yourself up and now how incredibly vulnerable you are.
Yes, absolutely. So, like we were talking about before, Sonia, about the elections last year, it's been rumored that Russia had something to do with affecting our elections. Well, there's lots of course, conspiracies about it, but we're talking the facts part here. The facts that have come down is that there are evidence. There's evidence that Russia had something to do with our elections by affecting our social media. Hence, Facebook. Facebook, when they were asked about certain advertising payments paid through their social media from Russia, they denied it. And then just recently, they had to come out and say that, well, yes, we've had over $100,000 worth of paid advertising on Facebook regarding the elections.
Twitter as well, right?
Twitter also. But when they testify in front of the Congress, it now becomes a question of business versus government. Can governments, take a control of business with regulations, but businesses still have the freedom to say, government, we don't have to tell you this information because we are a business and we are.
Well, they can do. I think they can do sanctions, right? They can say we can't do business with this country or whatever. I'm sure they can get it to that point, but I think what people don't understand is like why and how and that whole piece.
Well, the how is kind of interesting. The how is, they're on Facebook. If you remember, there was discussions about California and Texas seceding from the United States, right? Splitting up the United States. Who would benefit from that? Russia would. If you take our country that's united, we're one, and divide us, that's the best way to conquer us, right? Break us up into small organizations and groups. So what they did was they capitalized on the idea of Texas succeeding. And when investigations have shown some of the evidence, right? It's not finished yet. It shows that there was a company in Texas that was talking about, yes, we should succeed from the U.S. because they're not right wing like we are, or whatever, right? Believe in Texas. And it turns out the company sponsoring them was actually paid out of Moscow. They had an office in Moscow, and they did the same thing for California, right? Interesting, the biggest states. And what they did, they put ads like this on Facebook with fake stories. They would take a story of something about Hillary Clinton, and then taking that meme and posting it on a fake right-wing website, okay? Not a real one, but it looks very, very Fox News-like, let's say, okay?
Yeah.
And people would believe it.
Yeah.
And what they'll do, they'll take the URL and they'll send it to a friend who says, it must be true. I got it from Gerald.
Yeah.
And then they'll take it and send it to somebody. So it starts this whole avalanche of changing our way of thinking. That's the cyber warfare, folks.
Yeah.
That's been going on now for, they're saying now, over 12 to 15 years. And we haven't even thought about it because we're used to seeing something in bullets. Physical, folks. Changing the mindset of people and the way they vote is what they were doing. And it's showing evidence how that was happening.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to be social media responsible, right? To just really think about, you know, it's one thing to say, hey, these are my views and I want to share my views, but I do see people like just kind of grasp onto the conspiracy theory of it, or the hate of it, or the vitriol, whatever it is, and then, you know, it's funny too because I'll see people post like, I can't believe they're saying this.
Right.
Well, I can't believe this story, or why is this out there? And then I'm like, but you're keeping it out there. Like the more you post it, the more conversation you have around it,
the more
keeps it. So don't engage in it. And so there's sometimes where I'll read an article, a headline, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that real? And you know, you're a few clicks away from really determining that it is not, and you can very easily figure out that's true. I think you can. The things are fake, so don't even comment.
That's true.
I'd rather pick up the phone, people,
and
call that person and say,
send
hey,
them a private message on it, and not keep it in the streaming of
so
the
that
live
it keeps
feed
getting the attention. That it keeps getting the attention.
And for my students out there who are watching our show, that this is an example why I tell you on your essays that you turn into me, I want to see more than one citation, and it cannot be a Wikipedia. It has to be research, because that's the same way. You find something out, you'll say, oh, this must be true, and you'll give me a link. So that's why I ask you, rather than give me one, give me three. That means you've done some research. And even from there, it's hard.
I mean, people go down this rabbit hole of, you know, oh my gosh,
believing something, conspiracy, it's not true. And that's how information gets passed on like this. That's fake.
Right.
And that's hence the term fake news, folks. So.
And it just makes it a case of I need to be right.
Yes,
so
exactly.
now you've said I'm ridiculous for posting this, and I'm not, and fake news. So now I'm on the defense, and now I'm going to beat you senseless with my keyboard, in order to determine that I'm right and you're wrong. To what end? Like, what are we getting from that? And I think that, you know, as much as everything that's bad that's happening in the world, like, people really need to stop and think, like, what's the end of just posting? What is my purpose in posting, and what's going to come out of it? Am I really coming from a place of love or openness or honesty, whatever cheesy thing?
That's the other thing people like too.
I just want to try to push this, or I just want to incite this, like, bully conversation.
Become famous by creating a post that goes viral.
I love the people who like drop a post and then don't say anything. And watch people just like
just watch them talk about it. Sit back and just I started
unfollow.
And that's what they did. These Russian fake accounts. They created fake accounts on Facebook and Twitter, and they drop something in and just sit back, like drop the mic. And just watch people react to it.
It's unfortunate.
Crazy. The other thing I want to talk about here in our last few minutes, did you hear that Elon Musk is looking to invest in Puerto Rico, folks?
Yes. So I have a friend on Twitter and Facebook who used to be in Vegas. Now he's up in Washington. That, you know, he's absolutely not taking credit for it, though he did comment that he had, you know, tweeted Elon Musk and said, you know, this would be a great thing to do, like maybe you could power. And then all of a sudden it started to get some legs. Again, he's not taking credit for it, though it would be pretty amazing. But I do know that the infrastructure just to get that going would be labor intensive, and it would be amazing to do. They need power now.
They do. They need power now. Get them up and running now, and then definitely that'd be a great investment, because that island to be on solar power using
solar wind,
power walls and stuff would be excellent. So good job, Elon, if that's going to happen. That'd be really great. Folks, I want to thank you again, and I want to thank Sonia every month for coming in. You're going to come in again this month.
I
please.
should.
Good. Yes, definitely. We'll talk more about cybersecurity news here, folks, for you. We'll deliver it to you here on Technology Review every Friday at 3 p.m. Again, folks, go to my website, macjacksonjr.com, and tell your bosses you want to sign up for my workshop course for folks on the 25th of this month. It's definitely worth it. It's something you should have. And it's certified. We just got certified as well, folks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, CLE credits, absolutely. See you next week, folks. Have a good weekend. Bye.